I'd like to do next here, and moving around to the right side of the machine, just to identify some of the major components. And I'll identify those, and then as we get farther into the video, we'll start talking about specifics about each one of the components. But for now, let's just identify what we're looking at here. I have taken the side panel off, so for ease of seeing this, and there's just a few things that I'd like to identify in here. We've got the engine here, of course. We've got our electrical panel box here. Over to the side of the electrical panel box, we have two fuses. These are the fuses that you need at times. They're easy to get to. Sometimes that's the first place to look when we start having electrical problems, is what's the condition of the fuse. Down here is the silencer. It's wrapped. It can get pretty hot, but it's wrapped here to help with the silencing part of the silencer. And the last item on this side is our freshwater box. Now, at HydroMaster, we call these freshwater boxes, I don't want you to be confused with the freshwater box that's on the machine and any extra freshwater box that you may have in your van to supply you with fresh water. This has got to be full of water at all times for the machine to operate properly. If it doesn't have the proper water level in here, there are floats and gauges in here that, or floats and valves in here that will shut the machine down so that it won't damage itself. So sometimes if you have an issue, it may just be a simple thing that the water hasn't been turned on and the water float, the float inside has not come up to the level it needs to be. Let's move to the left side of the machine now. We'll just identify some of the major components here. And again, we're going to get into a little more depth in a little bit, but for right now, let's just identify what parts we're looking at here. This is the blower. This is the unit that, it's called a blower. It actually could be called the vacuum part of the unit, but it really is indeed called the blower. Back in here, we have the coupler. This is a very important part of this whole process. It does couple the blower to the engine, and again, we'll identify some of the things to watch for in that. Left side of the engine, down below here, we have the water pump, the high pressure side of the system, and on the front here is the chemical injection system here. This tube is the tube that's going to go down into your chemical jug. So this is where it's going to draw in chemical coming around and going through the injection process. Back down in here is the heat exchanger. It's hard to see, but it's back inside here. This is where we're going to generate our heat.